In area news impacting us at this hour on Thursday morning, February 2nd, 2017. Money from Cape Elizabeth and Kennebunkport, from Bar Harbor and Boothbay Harbor could be flowing into Caribou to the tune of $45.6 million if voters in RSU 39 approve Question 1 on a two-question ballot next Tuesday. That would pay 100% of a new elementary middle school, one that would replace 4 other school buildings in the city. RSU 39 includes Stockholm, Limestone, and Caribou. Superintendent Tim Doak says the harder question is if voters want to add a second gym/music room to the school, the state will not pay for that.
Both of these gyms will be in the same building, yes, in the music space. The other neat thing about this building, it's going to have what's called an innovation center. It's kind of an upgrade scale to like a tech ed. We're looking at having drones for teaching kids how to fly. We're looking at putting software in for animation. We're looking at putting robotics, a full thing of robotics. We're going to have some welding. We're going to have a lot of maker spaces. We're really looking at getting into that innovation and learning and problem solving in the future where kids, and we're hoping from grades 3 on up to the high school, can adapt this whole thinking into the learning and use and build and construct and things. And we're finding that the whole Lego piece with robotics is really big with grades 3, 4, and 5.
That is the question 2 on Tuesday's ballot. Doak notes the 2-gym concept will replace 4 gyms in the buildings the new school will replace. Doak says the proposed new school would become the largest in the county. We asked him how many students would be attending.
We're anticipating 750, and that's a really good question because what we've had to do is we had to go out and actually get a population study of the area to determine just what that number is. We can't arbitrarily set that. The state forces us to do this study as part of the project. So the project put us at about 750 students. Currently, we're a little over 750, but we will lose a few students in the next 3 or 4 years. But we're also hoping that if it is built for 750, the state tells us it could actually hold 850. So if consolidation does happen or the movement of schools could happen in the future, which you don't know with this economic time, we have adequate space in that school to hold more than 750.
If approved, the construction would not begin until next year, and the new school would not be ready until August 2020. We will continue our conversation with RSU School Superintendent Tim Doak tomorrow at this time. Home sales in the county have increased by almost 20% last year. Aroostook, Piscataquis, and Washington counties were the only ones in the state with median prices of less than $100,000, although each saw a double-digit bump in sales last year. According to the Maine Realtors Association report, 563 units were sold in the county, which is an increase of almost 20%. Jane Toll, a real estate agent with RE/MAX and Presque Isle, said Aroostook County's numbers mean there's not significant pressure on prices, and that's a benefit for home buyers. Although sales have jumped, Toll said that homes can linger in the market in the county, with an average days being listed at 178. Toll said that homes linger on the market due to location and price. She added if a home is priced right, it's going to sell. In other area news, will the real state trooper please stand up? State police have charged a Fort Kent man with impersonating a public servant. During an investigation, Corporal Corey Hafford discovered that 20-year-old C.J. Levesque of Fort Kent posted on his Facebook page that he was a Maine state trooper. Levesque also claimed that he attended the Maine Criminal Justice Academy and was a former employee of the Aroostook County Sheriff's Office. Corporal Hafford followed up on the information and learned that both agencies denied having any records of Levesque being employed or receiving law enforcement officer training. Levesque will be in Fort Kent District Court on March 6th. Caribou has found an interim city manager. Caribou Police Chief Michael Gahagan said he would be willing to fill the role to assist the community. City Manager Austin Blees announced his resignation during a January 23rd business meeting and will officially leave the position on March 3rd. Gahagan has previously served as interim city manager for Caribou on occasions when the current manager spent time on vacation. Gahagan's duties as police chief will not be altered after March 3rd, at which point he will oversee both the police department along with the city governmental affairs. In other news, Senator Susan Collins is joining her Maine colleague, Senator Angus King, in opposing the nomination of Betsy DeVos for Education Secretary. Collins announced her opposition to President Donald Trump's pick to lead the U.S. Education Department yesterday. DeVos is a wealthy Republican donor, a school choice activist, and a champion of charter schools and using taxpayer-funded vouchers for private and parochial school tuition. She would end up with a 50-50 vote in the Senate if all other GOP senators support DeVos and all Democrats oppose her, requiring Vice President Mike Pence to break the tie. The Oromocto RCMP is investigating an armed robbery that occurred at the Riverside Pharmacy on Mitchell Street in Oromocto, New Brunswick. Last night, a man entered the store armed with a knife, climbed over the pharmacy counter, and stole a number of prescription medications, which he placed into a bag. He then fled the pharmacy and drove away on a blue ATV. No one was injured. The man is described as wearing a gray winter coat, white or light gray pants, and a yellow, black, and white ATV helmet. The man was also wearing goggles or sunglasses to cover his face. Anyone with information about this incident is asked to contact the Oromocto RCMP at 506-357-4300. Interstate regulators say the fishing quota for Maine's expensive baby eels could change in 2018. Fishermen are allowed to catch about 9,700 pounds of the eels, which are also called elvers, every year. They are shipped to Asian aquaculture companies so they can be raised to maturity and be used as food, such as sushi. The Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission is going to reevaluate the quota prior to the 2018 fishing season. An arm of the commission will review the stock later this year before any decisions are made. The fishing season takes place in the spring and is closely monitored by state authorities. Maine is the only state in the country with a significant elver fishery. The elvers were worth more than $2,000 per pound in 2015. Maine Water says it pumped and treated 100 million fewer gallons of water in 2016 than it did in the previous year. The utility says it was able to provide the same level of service to customers despite pumping and treating less water. The utility is reviewing 550 miles of pipes to see what is old and in need of repairs and replacement. It has also been seeking out leaks in the system. Maine Water provided customers with 2.8 billion gallons of water last year. Well, it's Groundhog's Day. That's when we turn to our four-legged forecasters to learn if spring is right around the corner. In Canada, they will be looking to Wyerton Willie and Shubenacadie Sam for some encouraging news. And in the States, we will be relying on Punxsutawney Phil in Pennsylvania. It works like this. If it is cloudy when a groundhog emerges from its burrow on this day, then spring will come early. If it is sunny, the groundhogs will supposedly see its shadow and retreat back into its burrow, meaning winter will persist for 6 more weeks. Finally, the Canadian dollar is trading at 76.91 cents U.S., and the U.S. dollar is trading at $1.30.1 Canadian. Well, you just been uploaded. This is Channel X News, where news matters more.